Welcome back to Let's Play Kameo. Last time we made it to the top of Mount Rise to get to the Summit Spring, where we're going to save Deep Blue. Let's check out what kind of gross mysteries this cave holds for us.
I remember Squibble mentioning this place. He said to start by dashing into the totem furthest from the door, and then maybe there are clues.
Squibble is the insane gibberish-spouting madman who helped us at the Lobster Cavern to save the last Elemental Warrior. That was the totem furthest from the door. And it is adorned with a single skull. We have more totems. Also adorned with skulls. This one has two. And it happened to be the correct one. What could this mean? 3 this time.
Remember, I'm always here.
Ortho has an idea. Let's check in. Those totems are too important to be simple decoration. Ah, Ortho solved it for us. Thanks a lot, buddy. Well, we got that shadow well open. So let's head back to the realm of shadows. That's a familiar scene. Hasn't been too long since we last saw it. And here we see this Shadow Troll's new attack. He sends spears of bone out of the floor. Only 4 at a time, though, so it's not too big a deal. Let's get this show on the road. There we go. 2 quick hits he's almost done with. Let's just knock this third out real quick. This might be even less of a threat than the last 3. Well, somehow missed there. Not sure why we missed that, but now we can see that since he's on his last hit, he is summoning a forest of bone spears every couple of seconds. Knock that light soul out of the arena so we can't get it. Wouldn't have held on to it very long anyway, because we got run through by a spear. Yeah, at this point it's actually pretty difficult to not get hit. Touching any part of the spear will hit you, even if it's already erupted. So this is actually a bit of a challenge. First time we've had a real challenge from one of these Shadow Trolls for reasons other than stupidity. Got a clean shot. This time we got him. There's our new Elemental Warrior, and a nightmarish sound glitch that is causing the death sound of the Shadow Troll to play on an endless loop. Let's absorb this new sprite to put an end to it as quick as possible here. Deep Blue's quite a bit more tough looking than our last.
The cave started
New guy.
flooding while you were down the scary well, and now the door's blocked. But hey, your new warrior should be able to blast us out of here. Why not try it?
And while we were off fighting, that weird thing in the middle decided to erupt. No matter. With Deep Blue, we'll be able to get ourselves out of here. Now, this section is incredibly annoying, not because of anything we can see, but because the controller rumbles the entire time we're in this area due to that eruption in the middle. And also, it can be hard to find the exit because the water is murky and the controls are awkward to get used to. So it's basically a horrible introduction to Deep Blue.
Okay, we're almost home and dry. If you like being dry, that is. The door is rigged up to the water wheel, and Deep Blue should be able to make it spin. So what are you waiting for?
Don't like being dry, huh? So we just gotta spray this wheel. Opens the door. Next stop, ground floor. And we're immediately beckoned towards the water temple below that waterfall there. But of course, we have access to new side quests. So let's check out some of those.
He's so funny. Can't you see I'm upset? The trolls have stolen my prized pearls. I'm offering a reward for anyone who can return them to the 3 starfish holders, but no one seems to care.
This side quest, kind of burdensome. These starfish are designed to hold pearls, and they each point towards a pool, and inside of that pool we will find a clamshell down at the bottom. Not in this specific area, I kind of messed that up, but you can see it behind the tendrils that that building is standing on. Here's a better look at them. We can blast them open with Deep Blue's missiles, torpedoes, and that will unleash a pearl once we hit the right one. And then the fun begins. We have to roll these things, and the physics on it are incredibly awkward. And getting them out to shore, virtually impossible. Because that little incline, it's very, very hard to push these things uphill. So you basically have to hit it dead on. And the pearls feel basically weightless while we're pushing them. It's just a really awkward physics object. And the controls are not nearly precise enough to really facilitate this. So we managed this one. Finally. There we are. So the next one indicates for us to go north. Let's just jump right to it. You can see from the mini-map in the corner that we are pretty much at the northernmost point of this area. We'll be getting a good idea of where we actually are on the way back, which I've had to speed up because this is ridiculous. The shore on this one is on a much, much steeper incline, so we have to move it over to a shallower part of the beach. Right about there should do it. And then we still have to wrestle with the awkward controls. But eventually, get it back to where it belongs. And head to the south for our final pearl. And again, looking at the minimap, we are at the southernmost tip, which is as far as possible from where the pearl needs to go.
Don't go for a swim.
So this is gonna be rough. Gotta navigate it over this hill. And then over this hill as well. So that's 2 shores we have to navigate. Gotta make sure we rolled it over our own head there. Gotta make sure not to accidentally push it into that pool, because then we are dealing with another shore. And yeah, that was a couple of minutes before I sped up.
All those replacements? They're tiny. I'm not going to give you a cash reward for these miserable substitutes, but I suppose you can have this.
Well, we got a small reward for it. And we also got this guy's wife to stop guarding his hut, which is gonna allow us to pillage that. So let's claim our well-earned prize there, and check in with this guy's wife.
It'll be dark soon. Are you responsible for helping my husband? If so, the art community owes you a debt for helping one of its greatest talents. Our legends speak of a green-clad hero with the power of the elements who will come to slay the Dark King. I wonder when he'll arrive.
Alright. While you're here waiting for Link, we're gonna go rob your house. I couldn't hope to explain what happened there. So they've got a elixir of life just on their dinner table for some reason. And while we're here, we'll smash their treasured family chest out of spite. So now it's time to finish off the hidden sign quest that we started last episode. And the sign we read told us to check around the pearls, basically. And the camera never really pans up this hill, so I got lost twice trying to find this thing. But eventually, I found it. It tells us to go to the ancient castle, which you might guess is the Temple of Light, where we did the torch lighting side quest. Just a short trip away. And of course, wants us to go around back.
It's great out here today.
Now we have to seek out a wise old squid. This clue requires that we know there is a merchant of information on this area. His house is actually right in front of us here. That's the one. And it's up this hill behind his house, which you might remember is where we picked up our first elemental fruit of this area. The final sign is where the Rockdi play. Rockdi. I don't know how to say that. But the Rockdi are those pillars that we've been breaking. And they're referring to the ledge that we overshot last time. And this time, that didn't happen. So now we can claim our prize. Get a giant heart from under here to make up for that little mistake earlier. And another elemental fruit. Just giving them away. Speaking of giving away elemental fruit, it's time to move on to the main event for this episode. It's back this way. We haven't really even glanced at it, even though we've been able to access it since before we climbed the mountain. But we didn't because we wouldn't be able to do everything that's in there. Up this little semi-hidden hill is some bombable boulders. Let's try to talk to this guy. Doesn't want to talk to us because we set him on fire. We're just gonna have to wait for that fuse in sullen silence. We're in the treasure cave. If you thought they showered us with prizes in the last area, wait till you see the treasure cave. And this spawner spawns water beetles, which means we can't destroy it with fire. It's indestructible. We can just turn it off for a couple of seconds. Our first prize is if we go the wrong way, we get a very obvious elemental fruit. And we have a little note from Captain Fensum, taunting us with his impossibly hidden treasure that we'll never find, I'm sure. Got some natural ramp formations. Here's our first, I believe our first water troll.
Deep blue.
And paradoxically, we have to deal with these guys first by spraying them with water. I guess the logic there is that we sort of fill them up with water and make them dense enough to be damaged by physical attacks. Maybe. Kind of a stretch. And I'm not sure why I decided to use Major Ruin here. He's a nightmarishly inefficient choice. Because the water troll has 50 HP, and the rush attack does 10 damage, and is very, very slow, so it takes 5 very slow attacks to kill it. But he had an elemental fruit in him that we can claim now. Now that he's finally dead, it's lost here in these weeds. We got it. And we can move on. It's pretty easy to lose your bearings in this room. Tried to go into first-person view to see where the advancing area was. There we go. Another unbreakable beetle spawner.
Hey,
I skipped that accidentally. Let's try that again.
hey, if you got in here, like maybe you could help me? My boyfriend Mizu is trapped in this cave and I can't get to him. Would you free him for me?
Sounds like a noble quest. First, let's pillage. We don't really need to pillage, but it's fun. Might as well. I saw a little gap in the wall there. Thought maybe I could creep under it. But no. There's an invisible wall. Nothing doing. Well, we have Pummelweed out. Got a couple more pennies for no reason.
Major Ruin.
Major Ruin's the all-star in this episode. I even use him when I shouldn't, like in this fight. This time it makes a little more sense because I could theoretically hit them both with one rush attack, which would deal a fair amount of damage, but still not worth it. Plus the charge up is so long we risk getting hit. Here I finally figure out Pummelweed is the way to go for single targets. A little too slow. Get a few more hits in. That'll be their last. Even with single awkward jabs, we take them out much, much faster than we would have with Major Ruin. There we go. Quick work of those guys. could go that way, but better to go this way first. Past these beetles, find weird shiny pillars with gross little lumps on them. And because we were interrupted with that little explaining cutscene, we didn't have time to actually solve the puzzle. We gotta wait for him again. I just screwed up that time. Third time's the charm, hopefully. And a nice spin around. We saved him. We should be thanked profusely for doing so.
You idiot! I've been hiding out in here away from that obsessive brat. And now you've ruined everything. She won't leave me alone.
Yippee! You made me so happy! The least I can do is give you the special fruit I found. Go on, take it.
That was creepy. That's a shocking twist, if I don't say so myself. Turns out we're not always doing good deeds as the hero. Anything for a prize. There's a couple more prizes left in here. That water troll didn't really need to die, but taking revenge for all the time we wasted on the other ones. I used the Wild Rush attack that we bought much earlier. It's pretty effective against these guys because it does 40 damage of their initial 50. One shot, and then you just gotta punch them twice and they're done for. There, I did it again. It's very short work of them. He was dead 2 hits into that combo. More treasure grabbing. We've now maxed out our wallet. And there's a ramp leading up to where Mizu used to be. Which of course means there's a prize. Yet another elemental fruit. Couldn't eat them all at this point if we tried. Over here we have some treasure chests guarding a weird little alcove. This time Pummelweed can creep through it. Find some explosive barrels. Ash. Let's use ash to get rid of those before we get too close. A handful of cash. A little more under these clamshells. And the occasional beetle. It's some of Captain Fensom's treasure. But he's hid the good stuff elsewhere. We got some more of those underwater clams that our torpedoes can explode if we learn how to aim down. There we go. And I'm out of spirit. And there was no need to do it anyway. Through the murkiness we can see a little path leading forward. Here we have Captain Fensom's true treasure. Deep Blue's skin. Not Not sure why he was so protective of that. And he can't be bothered to deal with this. That and the fact that he's probably dead. Didn't really need this treasure anyway. And that brings an end to the treasure cave. All that's left is to make our way out. Just gonna play that record backwards real quick. Collect our prize that we earned for aiding in sexual harassment. There we are. And it's smooth sailing from here on out. All we got is a few loose beetles in our way. There we go. Now we just got one more home invasion to commit. Love sending Kameo off edges like that. And in this grotesquely pulsating hut before us, we've got our last side quest for the area. Some more water trolls have decided to harass Reefus for some reason. These aren't regular water trolls though, they have 300 HP. So it's a good thing I'm not trying to use Old Major Ruin for this, because that would take forever. Instead, let's try out the Weed Kill attack. That obliterated him. Over 200 damage done in a single blow. That's one of Pummleweed's purchased attacks that we hadn't seen before. And it's only situationally useful. Usually the Razor Top will knock the enemy back, and then the Weed Kill will miss. But when it lands, it's impressive. And this guy is rendered basically helpless on his own. He could have all the HP in the world, wouldn't do him any good. At this point, I'm just toying with him. Let's finish him off. Get our prize.
Whoa, you fought like a tornado, and it all seems to have calmed down in here. That's great. This is all I have to offer, but please take it.
We did indeed fight like a tornado. Glad you noticed. Let's leave Reefus in his hammock. He's so relaxed. And with all that optional, but pretty cool side content out of the way, we can move on to the Water Temple. One more familiar trek up this beach. Past those goddamn pearls. Next time, we will be going through this portal, diving into the Water Temple. See you then.